Before I begin to share with all of you tonight my story, there is something we must do. Right here, right now, and together. We must take a moment of silence for all of those that we have lost to death by suicide from lethal emotional pain. In my short 38 years on this beautiful planet, I have now lost 10 people I love to this pain, the most recent of which was less than 4 weeks ago. But today, my new friends, is not about the way they died or the day they died. Today is about how they lived before they ever got sick in the first place. And today is about the beauty that they were and the light that exuded from within them when they were still here. And today, we must choose to hold immeasurable gratitude for the very little time we had with them. I celebrate and honor the lives of those I lost this way on their birthday, the day they were brought into this world without that pain. And I do it with people who love them just as much as I do, because I firmly believe the only way to properly grieve a suicide is together, without blame and without guilt. It does not belong to us. It is too much weight for any of our shoulders to bear. They did not die in spite of us. They did not die because of us. They died because of a lethal emotional pain that had nothing to do with us. So let us honor their memories. Let us hold them dear. Let us celebrate their lives, the beauty that they were, and never forget the last smile they gave us, the last warm embrace we held, the last time we laughed with them. My new friends, let us take a moment of silence for all of those that we have lost this way. He is ancient, yet ageless. He is ticking, yet timeless. He runs, not hunted. He chases. He is a man of many faces. He is the darkness. I am the light. I may be cracked, but I will never be broken. I wrote that limerick in 8th grade about the intense duality I felt inside since 4th grade. 4th grade was the first time I ever heard auditory hallucinations, voices in my head seemingly knocking on my conscience, telling me things I had to do that I didn't want to. There were murmurs back then. I didn't quite understand what they were saying. I knew one thing: they hated me, and they wanted me out of the way. But do you think a 4th grade child was able to comprehend, let alone tell mom and dad about what was going on? No, I buried it and I silenced my pain. And the voices would go away. They would come back full force at 17 and a half years of age in high school. At Archbishop Reardon High School, I would be on a stage. At Archbishop Reardon, I'd be on a stage performing in a theater show. Any theater kids in the building? 1, 2, 3, 4. What do the rest of you do with all of your time? I'm a theater kid back in high school, among other things. And I'm on that stage in front of 1,200 people. Not one seat was open. It was a John Fennell produced play, and they said that John Fennell, who was this failed actor turned high school thespian director, they said that he produced professional shows from high school kids. They said that NYU scouts would come to those shows to see who to take to their school. That actually happened. And I'm on that stage, and I had been acting unwell. I had been erratic in front of my family. I had been going through something clearly, but nobody knew quite what or what to do about it. Nobody in my family, my immediate family, knew what to do with someone living with mental illness. We didn't have a name for it yet. And on that stage, I looked out at that 1,200-person crowd, and in a fit of extreme paranoid delusion, I began to believe that every single one of the 1,200-person audience was there to do one thing: kill me. I believed that at any moment they were going to simultaneously rise, rush the stage, and end my life. Let's just stop right there. What would y'all do if you thought 1,200 people were coming to kill you at once? Any audible answer will do: go.
Run.
Run. Thank you very much. Abby said at first, Abby, you win the prize. Just to be clear, there's no prize. But you're a winner, Abby, and that's what counts, okay? So it doesn't matter. You're a champion. And I'm on that stage, and I run off. I run to the lobby where I'm met with by Mr. John Fennell. John Fennell was an absolute character. He had this box haircut from 1987 in the year 1997. But his mustache was from 1962. And somehow John made it all work. And listen, if you did anything other than what John Fennell told you to do on stage, he'd take his left thumb, he'd place it in the right corner pocket of his mouth, he'd pop it out, making a loud, echoing, popping sound throughout the entire theater, and he would say, Hines, he always called me Hines, he would say, Hines, that's the sound of your head coming out of your, anyway. That's what John Fennell would say on a regular basis. He would repeat that to me, and he would finish that sentence. He was a tough SOB, that guy. And I ran and I met him in the lobby, and he sits me down in the theater treasurer's chair, which was very fitting because at the time I was the theater treasurer. A, the kid with no conceptual math skills, that was a bright idea. I blame John, the books were always wrong. And B, I ran unopposed for theater treasurer, and I won because, like Abby, I'm also a champion. So I meet him in the lobby, he sits me down in that chair, and he says, Hines, can you please finish the performance? It's not even intermission yet, what are you doing? And I just babbled incoherent nonsense for the next 10 minutes. I could not make out 3 words in a row that made sense. John, of course, called my mom, Deborah Joan Hines. And he called Debbie Hines, and I will never forget the moment she picked me up from Reardon High School, because I could see within her eyes that she could see inside mine the depths of insanity brewing behind them. Very soon thereafter, she had me go see my first psychiatrist, Dr. J. Kevin Rist. Now I have this feeling that she only picked J. Kevin Rist because his name was J. Kevin, and my name is J. Kevin, which is not how you pick a psychiatrist. They said Dr. Rist was one of the best in the field. His secretary, his apprentice, people we barely knew were telling us about how he was one of the best in the field. Dr. Rist himself would tell me every session. He would go like this. He would go, Kevin, Kevin. He always did that. It was so annoying. Let's do it again. Kevin, Kevin. One more time for posterity. Kevin, Kevin. I'm one of the best in the field. Yeah, Doc, you said that like the last 17 sessions. You're also clearly a very humble man. And that was Dr. Rist. But he was a nice enough guy, and he was trying to help me genuinely, right? He cared. He really cared. But Dr. Rist had his own pain. He had substance use disorder. He was on methamphetamines the entire time. He treated me and his other patients. And one of the best in the field. And that's not indicative to psychiatry in the field of medicine. Psychiatry in the field of medicine has helped save my life for the better part of 20 years. I'm lucky that I found medications in different times that worked for my mental illness. But I've also struggled with them in a great deal. But back to the story at hand. Dr. Rist would lose his license. His wife and 2 kids would leave him, and he would die by his hands. They would file a class action lawsuit against him and his estate. I would be the only patient of his not to join the suit, because I recognized, just like my biological parents, as I'm adopted, who also died of drugs and alcohol and mental illness, that he needed help just like all of us. He needed someone to get behind him and help him find recovery, and he never found that. And so I hold no ill will toward Dr. Rist or his actions. I just wished it didn't turn out the way it did for him. From 17 and a half to 19 years of age, that year and a half of living in this psychosis, in this mental struggle, I had been diagnosed bipolar type 1 with psychotic features. I was seeing and hearing things that nobody else could see or hear. They weren't just mere murmurs anymore. They were visual and auditory hallucinations that were terrifying. I would see on a nightly basis Death himself hover through my window with his staff and blade in his right bony arm. He'd reach out his other bony hand, turn it upside down, and his eyes would light to fire in his skulled face as he would say, come home with me, night after night, Monday through Monday. Do you think I told anybody?
No.
No, I buried it and I silenced my pain. That's what I got really good at, silencing my pain. And if you all in here are going to learn one thing from me today, And one thing along, may I ask that it be this? I don't care if you are the toughest person in this or any room. When you leave those doors and you go about the rest of your natural, important, and beautiful lives, never again silence your pain. Your pain is valid. Your pain is worthy of my time and others, and your pain matters simply because all of you do. When we silence our pain, when we bury it, it only bubbles, and festers and grows, and it bursts in things like rage, aggression, violence, substance use disorder, suicidal thoughts, ideas, or actions. Find a way to unburden your soul and share your pain, because a pain shared is a pain halved. I would have to learn that the hard way, but you don't have to. At 19 years of age, in the month of September, I sat at my desk and I wrote that note. That note to my mom and my dad and my brother and my sister and my best friend Jake Lewis and my girlfriend / ex-girlfriend. It was debatable depending on who you asked. I wrote that note. Mom, I love you, but you're not always right. Dad, I love you, but stop bringing the office home. This isn't work. I said to my little brother Joseph, who wanted nothing more than to be the greatest DJ on the West Coast, you'd be a household name. He was making those mixed cassette tapes from there. Still hot? Who still plays mixed cassette tapes? Oh no. It's really dead, isn't it? That's so sad. That's sad. And I said to my sister who wanted to make films, you got this, go get it. I said to my best friend Jake Lewis, arguably the worst part of the entire note, you'll find another best friend. As if that is remotely how it works. I put that note in my shoulder bag, put that shoulder bag by the door. At 6 in the morning, I entered my father Patrick's room. He lied there sleeping, wearing his breathing apparatus. Who knows about those CPAP machines? Anybody? Yeah, there we go. And he's wearing that CPAP machine, and he sounds like this. Like Darth Vader snoring. Except he was my father, so there's that. So I startle him awake, and he looks at me and he says immediately, Kevin, what's wrong? And I wanted to tell him the truth. I wanted to tell the one man who loved me the most in the entire world the truth. Did I?
No.
No, I did not. The voices would win the day. And they told me I had to die, and I believed them. I wish I knew back then what I know today. That my thoughts do not have to become my actions. Think about that for a moment. Our thoughts do not have to become our... Matter of fact, say it with me. My thoughts.
My thoughts.
No, all of you. My thoughts.
My thoughts.
Do not have to become my actions.
My actions.
If all of your thoughts became your actions, how many of you would be in jail for road rage right now? Come on, tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. All right. So, if we can recognize the power of self-awareness techniques that our thoughts don't have to own, rule, or define our next action, guess what? No matter the pain we face, we can always remain right here. We can be here tomorrow and every day after that. If we recognize that our thoughts of suicide do not have to lead to death by suicide. I wish I knew that at 19 years of age when the voices were tormenting my brain. I desperately wanted to live that day, but my brain was trying to kill me as I was trying to cling to life. And I didn't know how to cope. And I didn't know how to ask for help. Today, I live with chronic and regular thoughts of ending my life, but I always stay alive, and I'll never die by my hands. Because after my very severe attempt off the Golden Gate Bridge, I learned how to say every time I'm suicidal 4 simple but effective words to anyone in front of me, no matter the situation I was in. I need help now. And if the first person I talked to couldn't help me, I'd find another. And if the second person I talked to couldn't help me, I'd find another until someone was willing to empathize with my pain. And since my attempt off the Golden Gate Bridge, there has always been someone to answer the call, I need help now. Because I've been willing to ask it in the first place. And this means that I've been at airports talking to TSA agents, almost getting on the no-fly list for being suicidal. And I've done that to save my life. Because I recognize through self-awareness techniques that I deserved this life until my natural end. But on September 24th to 25th of the year 2000, I could not see the forest through the trees. I found myself that day on a bus in the very back row, in the middle seat, looking out upon everyone, hoping, wishing, and praying that one person would see my pain and say something kind. Hey kid, are you okay? Brother, is something wrong? Pal, can I help you? And I would have told them everything and begged them to save me. The bus would get to the Golden Gate Bridge parking lot. 100 people would deboard. I would be the last remaining person on that bus besides the driver, hoping that he was going to save my life. Instead, he looked at me and said, "Come on, kid, get off the bus, I got to go." I walked right up to that man, looked him right in his eyes, and he motioned for me to get off the bus as waterfalls poured from them. I walked down those 2 steps that felt like 2,000. I walked across the 2-mile stretch of roadway that is the Golden Gate Bridge for 40 minutes crying like a baby. Bikers, joggers, tourists, runners, police officers searching for suicidal people went by me twice. Those officers hadn't been trained in prevention, they are today. And today they save between 50 to 120 lives a year, and that's amazing. Round of applause for those officers. But that day they didn't see me. At that point, a woman to my left approached me with blonde curly hair and these sunglasses you ladies love to wear in the heat that absolutely do not fit your face. You look like giant human bugs. Something to consider for next time. And she approached with a smile. I thought, this is it. This lady's going to save me. And then she pulled out a digital camera and she said, "Will you take my picture?" I had to laugh for a minute, like, lady, this is terrible timing. Okay, I took her picture and she posed 5 times in front of me. Like some kind of model. I mean, IG didn't exist. What was she doing? And I hand her the camera back and she walks away. But not 20 yards off the bridge. She walked back across the entire 2-mile stretch of walkway, because that's what people did at the 9th wonder of the world, the Golden Gate Bridge, the most beautiful man-made structure ever created, they call it. Not me, though. I was there to disappear forever. She walked away. I said, absolutely nobody cares. Was that true?
No.
Everybody cared. Every member of my family, every one of my friends, my acquaintances would have been there to rip me from that rail to safety because of how much they cared. My brain wasn't allowing me to care. My brain was trying to kill me as I desperately tried to cling to life. I said nobody cares in my head, and the auditory hallucination screamed at decibels I can't express to you without piercing eardrums. Jump now, and I did. I catapulted myself into free fall. It was the millisecond my hands left that rail and my legs cleared it that I had an instantaneous regret for my actions, and the 100% recognition that I just made the greatest mistake of my life and it was too late. For 99% of those who have attempted off the Golden Gate Bridge, it has been too late. None of them will ever again get to share their stories. 39 individuals have survived that fall in the last 83 years since its opening. 39 individuals. Of those 39, I was number 26 to survive. Of the 25 remaining survivors that are alive today, because the others have died of natural causes and old age. Of the 25 remaining survivors of the Golden Gate Bridge jump, 19 have all come forward after I did to say they had the exact same instantaneous regret that I experienced, because their thoughts did not have to become their actions. Exactly. Of those who remain alive today, 5 of us get the privilege to stand, walk, and run. They call us the most exclusive survivors club in the world. There is a book of the same name by Ben Sherwood. I'm making a very clear point here. I get to be here. And getting to be here is a privilege and a gift, no matter the pain I'm in. I have been given a coveted second chance at life, and I am not going to squander it eating potato chips, playing Call of Duty 17. I'm going to do that, just not all the time. This gift of life is the greatest gift we have ever been given or will ever be given, I believe, no matter the pain we are in. I've been in pain, arguably, since the day I was born in a crack motel. but I've been given a second chance at life, and I'm going to lead it, trying to help other people find hope so they can find a purpose, so they can stay here. And that is what we are doing tonight. We are raising money to help people stay and fight that pain, change their destinies forever, shift the paradigm, and seek a future worth living. So please, give what you can, give often, because the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention deserves this help to give to so many people in pain to change lives forever. I am grateful today in a way that I wasn't before. I took things for granted before my survival off that bridge. I don't today. I don't take any place, thing, or person for granted today. Because every single place I get to go, I didn't build, yet here we are. Every single thing I get to do, it almost didn't happen. But most importantly tonight, the greatest gift I could be given is the gift of meeting everyone in this room after I finish this talk. You are all the gift to me today, not the other way around. And for that, I'm eternally grateful, because I almost never got to meet all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, my family and new friends, be here tomorrow and every day after that, and help everyone you can do the very same. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That is why we call it the present. And if you don't believe me, Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda said that, and talking turtles always know what's up. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is our gift. Let us always and forever cherish this day and every waking moment of this gorgeous gift we all get to call life. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for listening. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.